Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up here. It was a Thursday. The episode 121, I believe. And this episode is brought to you by PHILLIPS Law. 1 billion plus, one for their clients. Trusted, recommended since 1993. Over 1,800 plus Google reviews. Official partners of the Arizona Cardinals. You need Phillips. Official call line for our audience, family, and friends. Free of charge for any legal advice you may need. 602-388-1669. All right, let's loosen up a little bit. Loosen up, grab yourself a refreshment. That posture cranked up. Here we go. We got a hell of a show. We got a lot to talk about this morning. So I'm just got done, did some PT yesterday, and I'm super thankful. I went to Eris Physical Therapy, working on my Achilles. My boy Elias, you know Elias, 205er Elias. Mm-hmm. He had this horror story. I'll have Jay put his pictures on the screen, but he tore his Achilles, and right at about 12 weeks, they say it starts reattaching to the bone, and it starts getting stronger. So he's at physical therapy 12 weeks after his surgery of his torn Achilles. Now you're able to walk a little bit, and they had him doing the ladder drill. Boom, and he popped it again.
I didn't hear that.
Dude, at physical therapy, he fucking tore his Achilles again. And he showed me the first scar, it's a normal scar like mine. And then the second time, it completely frayed his Achilles. So the scar is like this big. And they have to like really pull the Achilles down to strap it up. And then the doctor's like, now you can't do nothing for 12 weeks. You sit in your boot for 12 weeks. So that's, what a beast for going through that.
Oh,
dude.
100%. He's such a big man in general, you know.
Yeah.
Like, geez, he's such a savage, you know. That's crazy.
Well, he said too, I was like, I'd be so fucking pissed at that physical therapist. But he said it wasn't their fault because he was taking an antibiotic that weakens your tendons.
Oh, wow.
Some antibiotics do that.
That's crazy. So how'd that end up coming apart? Like that his doctors didn't realize that?
I think he went into urgent care for some random sickness, and the urgent care lady just prescribed an antibiotic. He thought she knew what she was doing, and that specific antibiotic weakens your ligaments.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
That just sounds like all bad timing throughout the whole thing.
Bro, that made me so thankful for what I got going on. But I was also listening to this Modern Wisdom podcast, and I don't know who they were talking about. No, it was Eckhart Tolle who was talking about it. How when people go through these like very traumatic things that you think are so painful and so bad for you, they end up coming back happier than they were before, more like whatever you want to say, enlightened than they were before. I don't know if that happens with everyone, but I think when you're hurt and you do the right things, maybe you read, maybe you do things that are still healthy for your mind and still eat healthy, I think you can come back pretty strong.
I agree. I think there's something to that.
Yeah. Marcus, our brother Marcus here, been friends for years and years and years, and now he's on his third finish in the UFC, and I'm just going over your record here. I'm like, bro, you're putting the people away. First fight, pro debut, KO punch. Second fight, TKO strikes. Third fight, KO. Fourth fight, KO. Sixth fight, TKO. Seventh fight, TKO. Eighth fight, submission. Ninth fight, KO. 10th fight last weekend, TKO. Oh my God, bro. That was just such a sick performance. It was so sick. We were so hyped. Just how sharp you were looking. So composed every time he cracked that kid. And that kid was tough. He was hanging in there. You were cracking him with some shots that 99.9999% of people would have fallen down. But he hung in there. That little 5-2 you threw, it was almost like, did you get that one from Benson? Is that the one you got from Benson? Or did you just kind of throw that off the rip where he kind of turns his shoulder and palm up? Boom.
I did, but I honestly, I have to say I kind of stole it from Ben, but also threw like a Conor McGregor on it. You know, Conor likes to, on that southpaw side, throw that one, but he dips a little harder than I dip, and I can hit that dip too. I like to hit that dip, but sometimes just throw it right from where it is, you know, just right there, you know. And then I was working that one to the 5 to the body, to the slip to the 2 again too. Like those are just kind of combinations I've been seeing around that I've been playing with a little bit too. And
is there any boxers that you watch that kind of you try to copy some of their combinations or?
Not really. You know, honestly, I think I just kind of go through each opportunity, like what hands are there basically, and kind of just try to put them together. But just watching certain guys and taking little things that I see that I like from guys, you know. And it's nothing like actually like I guess I'm not cerebral enough to actually pull who it is from and what it exactly is, but just working those things constantly, you know.
Yeah, you're one of those athletes that just does that kind of thing, and then maybe a coach will watch you and be like, hey, you did this and you did this, and you didn't even know you were doing that. You're just letting your body go. Boom, boom, boom.
And Randy's pretty good about that too. Like that's one thing about between me and Randy. We've been together for so long too. So that's a shot that we definitely work too. And we work it off like pulls. We work it in a whole lot of things, you know. So it's definitely something that we throw as well. And Randy he has a really good knack for seeing things that I'm doing and then making sure we're thoughtful about doing them, you know.
That's the thing. I mean, when you're around a coach or a person who's been around you literally damn near all your fights, they know what shots you're comfortable with. They know what's going on, and they can see things from the outside. So you hear his voice, and you trust it, and you let it rip. That wheel kick damn near took him out. That wheel kick could have been like, flatlined him and just boof.
Man.
But still, dude. Yeah,
just trying to get more accurate with those things, you know, like use those weapons a little bit more accurate because that was one shot that we've been practicing too. Abel Uccello over there, I've been going and training with him like once a week, you know, for the last like 7 months, you know.
And he's a karate black belt, right?
Mm-hmm. Karate, boxing, yeah, but he's at karate, taekwondo, you know, taekwondo more so than karate. But karate is like the bait, like, you know, because they add hands into it and everything. But a lot of his taekwondo, a lot of his kicks and into the hands, which, you know, I like the hands a lot too. But I really enjoy kicks. I have dexterity in my kicks, and he teaches us how to hide them, you know, how to hide those kicks to land them. And I'm finally starting to like see and hear him, you know, like you said, with the coaches that you spend time with.
Yeah.
I've been hearing him and seeing what he means when he says things. And I'm like, I can see the progression. So it's been good it's cool to actually go do some of the things that we were actually working on, not just working on things and then going out and not doing any of them, you know?
Yeah, bro. It's just like watching you. It's like you're one of those guys, just a freaking freak athlete who knows how to show up, who knows how to just be in the moment and let your skills go. God, it was just so sick just watching you do that. Another KO. Excited to see what's next there. The whole week went good. The weight cut went good. Everything was pretty smooth, normal.
100% smooth as butter. You know, honestly, I'm super appreciative because, you know, like it doesn't always go that way. You know, camp is camp. You go in there with your nicks and your bumps and your bruises, you know, and no matter what, nobody makes it to a fight 100%. That's just how it is. But and camp was good. You know, I got to work through it. I missed one day of practice out the whole camp, out of a full 8-week camp. Added a lot of strength and conditioning. Well, I was already doing a lot of strength and conditioning with J-Rock, but now I go with those guys at Built Better, Justin over at Built Better in Scottsdale, and man, they just been taking me to another level as well. On top of what J-Rock's already been with. You know, J-Rock's been with the lab for 10, 13 years, right? Something like that.
Ever since I've been there. I mean, for years and years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he knows how to get us to work, you know. So and then doing all the work with Mario too, and the camp, the vibe, everything, man, is just like. Can't say anything other than just blessed, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when you're sparring, the level of guys you're sparring with, it's like literally you go into that fight, it's like a certain level of confidence you're bringing in there because you're sparring such good guys.
100%. And I'll even say this is one other thing I was saying. It's like me and Mario didn't do one round together this whole camp.
Damn, really?
Isn't that crazy? Because we're fighting different type of people, you know? Like we're fighting different style guys. So to think that we can both be fighting at the same weight class and not have to do one cage round together and still, you know how we do our rounds over there, you know? Fresh guy in, fresh guy out, you know? Each round. So it's like to think that we have that many killers over there.
Yeah.
And it's not like none of those rounds are easy. There's so many killers over there. Abdul, there was this guy, Bobby. He fights this weekend.
Where's he fighting it at?
In Canada. He's from Canada. He's legit. He's good. Great striker, you know. He helped me at my camp, so that was cool to have him over there, Abdul. But and then, you know, we got Betche, we got Ethan, we got Ezra,
Bryce. I mean,
Kyler, Bryce. I mean, man, you know, we didn't have to do one round together the whole camp.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. But it's impressive with me too, because how many kids you got?
4 kids, yes.
4
sir.
kids. And the kids are older too. So you're 33 now, just probably about to hit your prime. And you've been grinding at this. You've only been in the UFC since 2023. I mean, April 29th, 2023. So just I mean, guys are talking about it all the time. Like, how do you get by when you're not making enough money? Especially you. You're a good example. You have 4 kids. You have a house to provide for. You have all this food. You have all these things, and you're fighting in the LFA. But also, you're not complaining. You never complain. You never bitch. You had a side job for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
How did that like come about? Did you find a job that worked around your training?
No, I had to end up I had to work around my training always, and I think that's what like pushed me back so far, right? Because it wasn't necessarily that I didn't have the skills; it was that I didn't train the correct way. You know, I didn't put in as much work as like I wasn't there like Kyler and Mario and Sugar. Even though I was around the same time, that's when I started coming. Is when they got there. You know, but it just wasn't the same because I was working 60-hour weeks. So like I was
60-hour weeks.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like. You know, I mean, 50-hour weeks is a regular week, you know what I'm saying? Like, I say 60 because that's what especially during COVID time, like, that's when I actually picked up even more, you know? Because I took over as operational manager. And as a manager, you're a salaried employee, you know, you have to be there, you know? So, and that was fine, too, because ended up being a blessing. I was still able to take the time I needed to because I was in that position to be there for the guys, to be able to go with Kyler for all his fights and then I would be there for sparring. Never miss sparring. Sometimes I'd go spar, take off work, go spar, come back to work and work for another 3 hours, you know?
Yeah, so, beastly shit.
100%. And not for me, like, honestly, that's why I didn't complain much because that's a blessing, right? Like, some people don't even have that opportunity. Some people didn't have the opportunity to have a job that they like. I worked in the cannabis industry. I love that, you know? Like, that's one of the things that I'm into. So for me, I worked in the cannabis industry for almost 10 years. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of that, I got this for a little gift for you.
Ooh, I seen that.
You can spark it up too.
100%. That sounds like a plan.
I'll take a little rip of it with you.
Sounds like a plan. This guy is yeah, that's nice. Bayshore, huh? OG Chem. That's what I like to see.
So at the time you're working 50 hours to 60 hours a week, you were probably just getting one training session in a day.
One training session in a day. Yep.
For how many years?
I mean, probably at least 5 years, something like that.
So when you were 26, you have your kids, you're trying to provide, and shout out to your wife. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the wife, just supporting your dreams and believing in you, not being like, go get a fucking job where we have benefits, where we have this stable income. Mm-hmm. She supported you. I mean, the wives don't get enough credit, especially when you have that many kids and you're trying to grind for this dream. When you're coming up and fighting, you don't make shit.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, yeah, I got to give her the credit too, you know, and kudos to that. And, you know, to be honest, we've had those moments, you know, and rightfully so. That's how she's supposed to feel. She wants her family provided for, you know. She wants her kids to be able to thrive, and why shouldn't she want that for them, you know? And especially like when you're having 4 kids, you know, it's just tough. It's tough to go through what she went through. And then she went to school too. So honestly, it was good too because like I got to be a part of her going to school as well. So and then it was like once she went to school and now she has a, you know, great job. She's a teacher now. So honestly, like it works out a little bit even better because I was there to help her go to school and her to get her degree. And she's a master's. Like she has her master's and everything. Even with that, I was like, man, that's crazy that you went and that you did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I definitely have to give a lot of praise to her for sure.
So she definitely believed in you, like, early on.
I'm gonna be honest. I tell her all the time. I don't think she did.
Like she's like,
it's not that she didn't believe in me, but you know. And then I'm such a pessimist. Not a pessimist, but like I always say it. Like there's no guarantees. I could do all this work for nothing.
Nope.
Not for nothing, because I don't feel that way. But like there could be no reward at the end of this. You know. And
what's the percentage of pro fighters that you think there is no reward at the end? I mean, unless you're loving the journey, loving going to practice. Mm-hmm. That's for me. I just love going to fucking practice so much. So I get a lot of reward just from that. But if you're in it for money and you're in it to make a good living and buy a house, buy things, what percentage don't get there? Probably what, 80? Maybe 95?
I would be inclined to agree with you on that. You know, like this is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. Like a lot of guys don't make it. A lot of guys don't get through. A lot of guys don't persevere long enough to get there because it's a long road. Like even me, like I've been able to do a lot of work in the last few years, but like we were talking about, it's been 10 years it's been 11 years since I started this. You know, I started late.
When I was teaching at the UFC gym, I think 12 years ago. Yep. 12 years ago now, Marcus was there. Just starting out, like I always knew you were a good athlete 12 years ago, and now in this last year we're seeing it come to fruition. So that's a long grind of you working fucking full time and training here and there, getting in as much as you can. I mean, it's fucking sweet, bro.
100%, man. And again, I always look back on it and I'm thankful for it all. You know, it was what I was supposed to do. And I think that a lot of people can benefit off that story, you know, and can just hold in there because you never know. Who knows when you're going to get there and who knows when it's going to be over, you know? So like enjoy it, be present, you know, be present for your moments, you know, and then the reward, like you said, that my reward comes from more than just getting in the UFC. Like I guess it's easy to hear me say that now because I'm in it and I have gotten 3 bonuses and it has been a great journey so far for me and I appreciate it, you know. But like my reward is so much more than that, you know, like the relationships, the man that I've been able to become, you know. And I believe that through training and the people I've set myself around, and I think that that's changed the person I am. It's manipulated the person I am. And I really like that person, you know, and I think that person has so much more growth, and I am excited for what that person looks like in the future, you know, regardless of wins, losses, all the tangibles, we'll call them, you know. Everyone's so focused on talent, but we should be, right? As men, too, it's expected. I have 4 kids. My wife's kind of like, bro, you better keep winning,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then what are you going to blame them, be mad at them? Like, no, like.
Was there times that you thought about, like, fuck, maybe I should just not do this. Like maybe that LFA fight, the one that you lost, were you just like, fuck? Or were you just hungrier after that?
Yeah, I was hungrier after that, I still think. Because I remember there was a moment in the back, you know, I shed a couple tears, you know, and I thought to myself and I was like, man, there's so much more than this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I sitting here crying for? No, the world is crazy and mean place, and I'm blessed to be able to cry about the fact that that I'm losing a fight. Like, all right, get back on your horse, you know, get back on your horse. I feel like there's so much reward without even all the extra stuff. And not everybody feels the same way. Some people wouldn't feel that way. And I don't blame them. Like, life is hard and you want to support the people around you. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, is to build a community that people around you can thrive in. Man, being desperate and, you know, living on survival mode sucks, you know, and you make a lot of bad decisions in that type of mental space. And if I could create something where people don't have to make decisions in that mental space, the more people I can affect, the better. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, people put so much effort into a fight camp. They lose a fight. They think it's the end of the world. But it's like, if that's the worst thing you got going on in your life is you lost a fight, your life's pretty fucking good.
I couldn't agree more. That was the perfect way to say it.
We got some UFC 300 announcements here. Let's spark up that J, Marcus. Let's get our minds right. Yeah, the announcements Dana made yesterday. The first one is Jim Miller, Bobby Green. Jim Miller fought on UFC 100. He fought on UFC 200. Now he's going to fight on UFC 300. That's fucking sweet, dude.
Yeah.
It just really is. Like, what a beast.
It's crazy to think that. And he looks so great, too. Honestly, even just seeing him throughout the week, you know, it's just like he's just chilling, like, you know, I don't know, different type of person for sure, right?
Fucking vet, dude. Let me look real quick just at his when he got it. His record's 36-17. And his UFC, I gotta scroll way down here for his UFC debut. His UFC debut was October 18th, 2008. The year I graduated. So that was a fucking long time ago. 2008, when it was Bisping versus Chris Lieben. That's when he made his UFC.
Bisping versus Chris Lieben. That's crazy. I haven't heard Chris Lieben's name in forever. I know he trains people now, right? He has his own gym.
Yeah, he has his own gym. Goddamn, he's fought everyone. Jim Miller. He's fought Benson. He's fought Melvin. He's fought Nate Diaz. Literally everyone.
Melvin Gillard?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Gillard. That's dope.
Someone, I was making a comment on one of my YouTube videos that Israel Adesanya is the greatest middleweight of all time. And then people are like, what? You're crazy. Not better than Anderson. I'm like, I don't know if he was better than Anderson. Anderson was the man.
Yeah.
But he's knocking out people that, I mean, the levels are a little different.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, and honestly, you can't deny Anderson is in the conversation for sure. Like, he probably is the GOAT based off like what he's done. You know.
Fuck it. Were you a UFC fan when he was just like
demolishing people?
Fuck, this guy isn't even human.
100%. Like, yeah, no, 100%. That's why I'm like, he is definitely. Like, I can understand the argument, but, man, you look at the resume that Israel Adesanya has been able to create and how fast he did it, how often he fought.
Yeah.
you know, you definitely got to still put him right up in there, you know. And if he had beat the amount of consecutive wins, then he would definitely be the guy, right? But like, that's where the question comes into play. Like, is it about how many consecutive defenses you have, or and how important is that, you know?
So we got Jim Miller versus Bobby Green, which will be that's going to be a sweet fight. Bobby Green, how long ago was it that he got crumpled like that?
I think it was in November, right?
No, it was December 2nd. So we're about 45 days. So it'll be a good layoff. Hopefully he's not sparring hard quite yet, because that took some serious.
I'm going to say he did take the damage, and I'm surprised they let him get back on there. But I think it's a great fight for him, though. You want to go ahead and hit that side?
I think so too, bro. I think so too, but I mean, that's the. Did that happen in? Where did that happen at? Did that happen in Vegas?
Man, Jaylin Turner turned it on too, and I've been paying attention a lot to Jaylin Turner because he's a skateboarder too. I've been trying to link up. I haven't hit him up because I'm like really bad about that, but I want to link up, man, and freaking get like a game of skate going.
You'd like that kid. He's bucket of dice, dude.
100%. He seems like it. He seems like the type of skater that I know, you know, that I'm used to. So I definitely want to go up to Cali and, you know, go check him out. Go hit a couple skate parks up there, and
so you can't twist an ankle.
No twisting of ankles, man. No twisting of ankles. We're gonna, you know, honestly, I've been realizing like there's a lot of things that I can do and on a skateboard still that are still pretty sick and not hurt myself, you know. So
are you smart enough to do? Because like you go to that skate park and it's like I can nose grind that. I can nose grind. And it's like fuck, dude. I have trouble going there because you just want to push the fucking limits. And my limits aren't very high, but when my fat body hits that concrete, it hits.
Yeah. I feel like as long as I'm doing it consistently, like the more, like throughout the last camp, I got to skate a whole lot because, you know, it was a little bit before after my fight. So I probably went and skated more, and the more I was on my board, the more of those tricks I could do consistently, you know, and not really worried about like I can kick out at any given time, you know.
Did you play any sports in high school?
A little bit, not too much, bro. I did jump on a dance team with two of my Asian homies though. For like one semester, so I did that. I was on the football team for a little bit. I played a little basketball. I dabbled in a little bit of these. I know the wrestling coaches always were trying to get me to wrestle, you know, but I was a street fighter, so I was always like in that mentality. I was like, bro, I'm not wearing that singlet. Dude. Gay for sure. And I wish I would have had some people around me that was like, bro, it's not gay. Like this is hard shit. Hard knocks, you know. Yeah. Like, I don't think you understand what this is over here, you know? Yeah. But I was like, bro, nah, getting a singlet and, you know, sniff somebody else's balls, like, nah, bro. That wasn't me.
Damn, but, so you did breakdancing?
Not breakdancing, like regular dancing. Like I guess I did breakdance because I was the one doing flips because I can do like full twists and all that stuff. So I did a bunch of flips and stuff like that and just dance, like pop locking, you know what I'm saying? You know, like Israel Adesanya dance, like new wave hip hop.
God, I wish I could do that.
Yeah. I can still dance. You catch me out in the club, man.
Really?
I don't even be drinking like that, and I'll still be in there like, getting it, you know?
Like geeked up?
Yeah.
Okay, so another announcement here. We got Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. So is this Max's... I mean, he hasn't been up to 155 and
since Dustin Poirier, right?
Okay. Damn. I forgot, how did the Dustin Poirier and Max fight go?
5 rounds. He ended up losing the decision, right?
People think Justin's just gonna run through Max and batter him, and I'm like, I don't know. It might be more competitive, but also Justin Gaethje, as of lately, is looking fucking scary with his boxing and how hard he's hitting, how sharp he is.
It just depends on how if Max stands there and trades like that with him, or if Max stays on his bike. Because if the Max that stays on his bike, I think it'd be harder for Gaethje to land those hard shots. That's why I think that he'll go to those leg kicks, you know. I think it's either going to be, it's in the boxing transitions that he's going to get, in the inside pocket that Gaethje gets the win, or from the leg kicks to those boxing pockets. Because
them ripping overhands. Remember Calvin Kattar? Remember how that fight went?
Yeah.
How bad Max pieced him up. Gaethje is a bigger dude. 3-round fight. I mean, what I've been seeing on Twitter, people are like, man, Gaethje's gonna kill. He's gonna make it look like Tony Ferguson. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's gonna be more competitive than people think.
I definitely agree with you. I mean, you can never count out. How are you gonna count Max Holloway out? He's one of the,
right?
You know, period. And he gets to go up a weight class. I don't think people understand like how much better that feels too. Like he's gonna have the speed advantage. Like. And he's not a fast guy at 145 pounds, but he goes up to 55. he becomes a faster guy. Not very much fat, but and with that range that he has, I'm not doubting him. But Justin Gaethje is a savage, man, and he can turn anybody's lights off in the world, I think, you know.
And Max on 2-fight win streak here, and so is Gaethje, 2-fight win streak. Had that fucking crazy fight with Happiest, KO'd Dustin Poirier, decision Michael Chandler, Donald Cerrone. So it's just it definitely is a different fight. I mean, KO'd Edson Barboza, fucking KO'd James Vick. Gosh, I don't know. So if you had to pick right now, if someone gave you $10K to bet on, what would you bet? Justin Gaethje, 35 years old, 25-4.
I'm gonna say Justin Gaethje. It's not. I don't want to go against Max Holloway, but I do think Justin Gaethje is just. I think he gets that one, and I think he does knock him out. I just, like you said, he's in another. If he touches Max, I don't know. For me, if he touches anybody the way he can touch guys, you know,
just heavy,
boom, and he puts everything into those shots.
Yeah. He does. He fucking throws his right hands like Dan Henderson. Boom. Okay, Max Holloway's 25-7, has never been KO'd or TKO'd. And Marcus is calling it here.
Yeah, I'm calling it. I think that'd be the first time ever. But that's kind of, and it's like, wait, that's a lot to say, I guess. Maybe I should eat my words because, yeah, he's never been KO. But I think if there's anybody who can do it, it's somebody up a weight class who hits like a train, you know, like.
Who's been KOing people, dude.
100%.
I'm interested to see what happens in Aljamain Sterling, Calvin Kattar.
Yeah, I am too.
I feel like that one's going to be, I mean, in the first couple wrestling exchanges, is going to be decided pretty early.
I think so too, because I definitely think Aljamain's coming to grapple. He's not coming to strike. He's not, like, you know, he's not boxing with Calvin Kattar. He's not even going to stay at space with him. You know, and it's not because I'm hating on Aljamain. Like, I do like Aljamain still, bro. Like, I like his style, but dude, like, there are differences in fighter. That's not a good fight for him to do. Like, that's not what he should do against a Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar has some of the crispiest hands, you know. Yeah. And his kicks follow ups are really good.
He starts sticking that jab on you, you're gonna be in trouble. But then Aljo, it's like, man, how much stronger is Aljo going to be? Like, how much really strength did he lose at 135 that he's going to have at 145? Maybe a little bit more strength, maybe a little more explosiveness. Who knows? 23-4, and Calvin Kattar's 23-7.
I think he'll be like a Merab up there, you know? Like, stick to you and not. I feel like, and then I've been watching, you know, because I try to keep up on different things. I've been watching him and his jiu-jitsu matches and everything, and what he's been able to do and the strength that he's exuded against the guys and what weight class he's doing it. I'm like, I think that does play a part, and I think that he will be very strong, and he has a really technical game. So I definitely think that's where he's going to excel up there at that weight class. Period. Is be able to have a little bit more of a guys be strong with it and be like a Merab up there, opposed to, like, you know, Merab is a little bit smaller at this weight class, you know, but he is a tank at this weight class. He just can continue with that type of pressure constantly, you know.
So I'm curious, Merab and Henry.
That's going to be an interesting one for sure. And I feel like whoever can take up space the best in that one. And I do think Henry does a good job when he's on making sure that people do not come across that barrier. He has like a barrier he puts up, and he does a good job with that. That's one of the things I can appreciate in his style, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that if he can do that to Merab, he has the good enough wrestling to negate wrestling and maybe land some big shots. Maybe we see his hands go off, you know?
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, I feel like where Merab's strong, Henry can avoid that stuff. And I feel like Henry might have a little bit cleaner boxing. But 3 rounds, I'm like, Merab put the pedal to the metal for 5 rounds. Like, he's going to come out and it's going to be a sprint. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. If I had to pick a winner, I would probably pick Henry by decision.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we got announced Deiveson Figueiredo, 22-3 versus Cody Garbrandt, 14-5.
Yeah, that's a banger. That's a banger too. We'll see who I feel like, because you know Cody's going to go in there and bang with him. So we'll see how hard Figueiredo does really hit, and if Cody can take that type of damage. He's just taking so much damage. I have so much respect for that guy, but he's taking so much damage. And no matter what, whether you like it or not, we're all going one way, man. You know, our damage meter is, you know, it's just like any like the video games, bro. That meter is just coming down. You know, it is what it is. You know.
And Cody too, when he sits there and he slugs with you, his head's in one spot. His arms are coming, or his punches are coming from his armpits.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, and that's why he hits so hard. You know. But again, like if you're sitting hitting that hard and you get clipped in the middle of that, it's like two trains hitting each other, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when you see him, you know, struggle in that moment, you know, because he hits so hard, he commits so much, you know? So and Figueiredo, you know he's going to do that. Figueiredo's going to come in there and do that. I think Cody, and then his grappling is really good too, you know? He looked great. Figueiredo looked really good flyweight. Like anytime anybody took him down, he was in you're in danger if you take him down too.
You can tell he's a good black belt, especially when he gets on top and half guard. How he's putting the pressure on people. You can tell he's freaking good. Mm-hmm. And then Charles Oliveira, what an animal for just taking the fight with Arman. I think a lot of people are avoiding that guy, and Charles was just like, you know what, fuck it, 34-9 professional record. Arman 21-3.
Yeah. That's going to be a great one. And yeah, I'm glad he took that fight too. I think that's a fight that makes sense, you know, like in the division right now. Like that's where they're both at, you know. I feel like that's a good fight for Charles to take anyways. And I think you're right. Like most people don't want that Arman fight, but I think that's right on his radar. He's the type of guy to take that one. So I'm going to be interested to see how that goes because both those guys are savages.
Yeah. How about UFC 298? 298, we'll keep kind of going backwards here. We'll go 298, we got Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria.
I'm never doubting Alex Volkanovski. That's who I'm riding with.
That's what I think too. I think too, bro. It's hard to doubt Volk. I mean, that short stance, Ilia's so fucking... Ilia's good on the ground. His boxing is so sharp. His speed's so good. But Volk, it just seems like he's another fucking animal. We'll see if that Islam... KO. I mean, people get KO'd and it affects people a different way, but Alexander's one of the GOATs. I don't think it's going to really affect him, but I'm looking forward to that fight. Ilia Topuria is 14-0 and Alexander's 26-3. It's going to be sweet.
Yeah, and Ilia is dope. You're right. He does have good hands, but I just don't feel like he has good boxing. I just don't feel like Alex is going to be in that space unless he chooses to be in that space. Like Alex, he boxes, but he doesn't stay there. He is constantly going to be on the move, you know. And honestly, that's one thing I've learned. Like I've taken and put it into my style. There's times where I'm gonna be on the move. Like we're gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna be moving, trying to set traps, trying to figure out where you're at, and you know, draw some things out. I think that he does a great job of doing that. And then once he catches his timing, you know, he just goes in. I think that's gonna be kind of the fight. Not that Ilia Topuria is not great. You know, I like that guy, but man, Volk
he's scary.
And
bro,
at 45. At 45, he's the guy. Yeah, I know.
You see his fucking, like, when you're around him, too, you see his calves and just his ankles and his bone density. He's just, you can tell he was 300 pounds before. He's just one of those guys with fucking huge wrists and just, like, if he kicks you, it's going to fucking hurt. And it's like, him outboxing Max Holloway, you can't count him out. You just can't.
Well, I really think that his leg kicks are going to add up too. I think that he's going to hit those pendulums, those insides. He's going to beat the legs up on the outside. And then the moment Ilia thinks that he's going to start stepping in for throwing punches, he's going to start counting them with good punches. I don't know. That's what I think is going to happen.
Ilia does have that low, kind of wide boxing stance. I'm curious to see how he's going to take care of those leg kicks. UFC 299, we got Sugar versus Marlon.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. You already know who I got in that one.
Yeah, Sugar versus Marlon, 5 rounds in the big cage, in the big arena. Chito's fucking tough and gritty. He gets his ass whooped for rounds and rounds, and he comes back and he'll still whip something up. 100%. He'll still be dangerous for 5 rounds. His cardio is going to be good. He's going to be in good shape.
I couldn't agree more, and I think that Suge is mindful of that and knows that, and that's why Suge. Yeah. I do think Suge has the tool set though. Like if you look at the tool set, even if you watch the first fight, bro, Suge was finding a lot of success, you know. And then the leg kick, leg kick happened, you know, and that did change the scheme of the fight, you know, and that's fighting though. Anything that happens in there could change. You could step wrong and
that's the thing. You just can't be overconfident especially in the UFC, especially like you just can't. Fucking, you have no idea what's gonna happen. There's something that could happen that you never even thought of. Yep. That's what's like scary about it, but also a little cool about it.
100%, you know, because like you literally have to just have faith, right? Like you literally just have to have faith. It's the personification of faith, like faith in the fact that things can turn out great too. You know, you never know. They could turn out bad, but they could turn out great. And I think when you hold on to that, and I think it's beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
So have you always been religious your whole life?
So what I really think about it, yeah, we've always been around church. We've always been about religion, you know. But religion is actually what's killed me, you know. Like it's like focusing on religion. Oh, you're this religion, you're that religion. We were into a lot of different churches. We were different religions, right?
And you'd say like
I would say I'm like more Christian is what I'd say. Like if I had to say what my religion is, but we've been Baptist, you know. We've been we were even going to like different temples, like you know, Buddhism type stuff, you know. We were Jehovah's Witnesses for a while as well.
Were you really?
Yeah.
How many years?
About 5 years. Yeah, I was an unbaptized publisher for a little bit, like getting into that. So
you were, what age were you a Jehovah's Witness? I had no idea about that.
I want to say, I'm probably some probably between like 10 years old and 14 years old. When I was a Jehovah's Witness for a while, going to church, and
going to meetings, you mean?
Going to the meetings. Well, yeah, going to the going to the Kingdom Hall.
Yes.
You know, so going to the Kingdom Hall, and you know, again, I've always been really more spiritual. Like it was a relationship between me and God that I didn't think about it like that. I always thought about it as like, this is the place where I have friends and people I know, and
your
community, and like, you know what I'm saying, like the people that are helping me. I moved in with one guy that was from the church before, and it was like still one of the things that like molded me. You know, he did a lot for me, and it was really cool to live with him. He was like an old bachelor or little older bachelor dude, you know.
So then at 14 years old, you decided what?
I really went like atheist. Like I said.
And what made you do that?
Just everything, you know, just everything in like a lot of things were happening around that time, and for me, I was just like, man, I just don't believe that. I don't want to be suckered into believing that, you know, God is real and that this is what it is. And I kind of just like, you know, veered away from God, period, you know. And later on, and it wouldn't be till I was in my 20s, you know, to where I started going, well, I'm not atheist, I'm agnostic, you know.
Not sure,
you know, like, all right, you know, I feel something, like I felt it before, I can't say I don't feel it then, you know. And then slowly but surely started getting back into my Bible, which is what I should have been doing the whole time.
Just
anyways.
like what translation did you have though?
So ESV, you know, just the English Standard Version. Like that's what I've been getting into. Just, you know, because honestly, even after just reading the Bible in general, like there's all these different translations or anything. But I think that if you genuinely go into the Bible with the right type of thought process that you're trying to grow and get closer to God, period, whatever Bible you pick up is plenty, right? It's about the intention of getting closer to God and trying to learn who God is. And for me, it was like I found God through Jesus Christ, you know. So
what age were you that you were starting to pick up the Bible again a little bit?
I want to say like right after COVID started, you know. So recently,
14 to 30, you were probably agnostic.
Yeah, so not from 14, but probably from, I want to probably say from probably 27 is when I started like getting back into like my spirituality. Like that's probably when I still wouldn't say I was like religious, you know, but I was like, hey, there's something still there that I have to pay attention to. But it wasn't until I started getting back into my Bible about 2 years ago when I actually started becoming more what you would call religious, you know.
So how did you have time? I mean, you have your family, you're working, you're doing all this. How do you have, smoking the herb once in a while. How do you have time to just be like, I'm going to sit down and read a couple scriptures here?
It's awesome. And right now, like, it's just as easy as this, right? It's crazy. We have these phones on our hands, you know, and I have an app right here I can get on right now, and it will read me the whole Bible, you know. I can hit play right now, and I already have my scripture.
So sometimes you're playing it.
I'm in Psalms, yeah, just playing it, reading along with it so I can comprehend too. But a lot of times I read it, but I have my Bible too, my actual physical Bible. But this is something new that I've been doing. This has been helping me get through the Bible so much faster.
Handy. What's that app called?
This app is called Holy Bible, basically. And so it has this, and then it has like a daily scripture that I will have too, like on the homepage. Like today's Deuteronomy 7:9, and it's know therefore that the Lord your God is God, the faithful God who keeps covenants and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. And for me, it's beautiful even on a day like today to open this and hear that. And again, we're all going to perceive it differently, and that's okay. But I'm pondering upon what God's word is. It's helping me to think about his kingdom and what he wants for us, you know. And now I get to spread that, you know. So it's just crazy how things have been working, you know. So for me, that's been my focus, is that and my family and building things. And honestly, I had to go look into the Bible about smoking weed. So I actually did that this camp, you know. So probably about 3 weeks ago, I was just sitting there and I was like, I'm trying to stop anyways because I wanted to be more focused on the fight. I don't feel like it affects my cardio, but you never know, you know.
You just want to be maybe clear, a little bit more clear.
100%. So I'm like 3 weeks out. I'm not trying to smoke, but I'm like, man, I'm over here reading the Bible, talking about getting more biblical, you know. What does the Bible say about weed? You know what I'm saying? So I went and looked up a couple different things. First, I looked up on the internet to see what Bible.
Just hoping it says, come on.
Yeah. Honestly, I was happy, even though I was happy with not finding anything that was like against it, you know. The other part of me was like, all right, we'll dissect what there is in there that could pertain to it, right? And, you know, I feel like I was something that was already on my heart anyways. Weed, alcohol, prescription pills, nothing should be my master over God, you know. And whatever that is for everybody else, you know, that's them. But nothing should master me. I shouldn't have to do anything that I don't choose to do. It shouldn't be attached to it, you know, other than God. That's the only thing that I should feel like thirsty for, you know. And that's kind of how I took it. So I was like, okay, whenever I decide to smoke weed, though, I can smoke weed, but I don't need to be so attached to it. And I didn't want that anyways. I don't want that anyways. Like the stoner mentality is like, wake up, bake, smoke again, smoke again, smoke again. And it's like, bro, I can still love cannabis and only smoke that morning maybe and never don't smoke the rest of the day, or maybe only smoke that night. You know, I don't need to be blazing hard every day. That doesn't need to be my focus, you know?
Yeah, I think you see fucking issues with people that do that. They don't have it, and then maybe a little thing goes wrong in their day, and they're fucking flustered about the littlest thing. It's like side effects from smoking when you wake up to when you go to bed for years, it just can't be that good.
Being in the industry, I smoked a lot of weed, guys. I did that. I was that guy. So again, getting into everything is just being open to building and becoming a better person, being a better version of myself, you know? So, and I think it helps to not be attached to anything, like other than things that are beneficial for you, you know what I'm saying? Like
there's a water right here if you want.
Oh, sweet, yeah. Reading, you know, like again, you say reading. Reading is so great, like just be able to sit down and do it. And we all have plenty of time. We do it all the time. We scroll through our phone. I'll sit down and scroll all the time. But like, get books, get different things. Yeah. People have lived this life, you know, and we get so egotistical sometimes that we forget that there's these books that all the questions that we're asking about life, there's some answers in these books, you know. So it's like, get into these books and start trying to find out. Because once I started realizing that, I was like, man,
powerful.
100%.
Fuck yeah. Okay. I mean, also on Twitter, I only try to follow under 100 people, and I try to find different guys that are maybe philosophers, maybe different authors, maybe different just smart people. So here's a couple we'll bring up and we'll just chat about real quick. Okay, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show with Marcus Mcgee. Our main supporters, the show keeps going, are on patreon.com/Red Hawk Academy. So we have a bunch of questions on there, and this podcast even gets better just coming with the answers that Marcus has. Some of the biggest issues you have in your life for Patreon members, and we go over those questions. The last half hour of the show is really good, and we're going to put it on Patreon for our Patreon members and supporters, and the video will be on there, and the private link will be on there also. You'll have a private Spotify link for the confidential show that we do on there. That's confidential. And then for the rest of this show. So thank you guys so much for supporting, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.